Good morning. I just wanted to talk about, this is more for the guys to help understand women better in regard to intimacy and having an emotional connection. I can't speak for all women, but it's in our makeup to be, it's just part of our genetics, just like men have certain core genetics that make them a man. Women do as well, and then we do as humans too. It's just they're on different levels. Of course, men are emotional, they're human, but women are more emotional. And when it comes to intimacy, women kind of lean on the emotional side, and then men lean on the physical side. That's just our natural human nature. So I said all that to say, women, when it comes to intimacy, it's super important for them to feel emotional security. And that's not speaking for all women, like I said, hurt and abuse and, different things throughout their life can cause them to shut that emotional part of them or suppress it so much that they don't open up at all. And they come to a place and, as a grown woman or as an adult who hasn't healed and learned and grown from the hurts and wounds that, happened growing up, they will look just for the physical part of intimacy. So if a woman is only looking for the physical part of intimacy, she has suppressed her emotional side. She has suppressed it because of the hurt, of opening up and then having those emotions hurt again. The more she does that and suppresses it, the harder it is to look for the emotional connection. However, if a woman has come to a place where she has grown and she's forgiven, she's completely healed from those emotional wounds, and she desires intimacy, she's going to look for emotional security before even the physical. And the same with men. Of course, I'm not a man, so I have to look at it from a counselor perspective, and I hate doing this because I really want to try to be open and use my experiences as much as possible. But for a man, it's in his natural makeup to find, to seek out, I don't like to use hunt or chase or anything like that because he's a man, he's not an animal. But he, because he's a man and he has those, the natural part of a man is to seek a woman and first and foremost for physical pleasure. And I've said in videos before too that, I just lost my train of thought. I've said before, it's just his primal nature to find a woman to satisfy him physically, and then of course emotionally. It's important too, but not as important. I think, than the physical. It's just his human nature. That's how God created him. We are created to reproduce. It's part of who we are as human beings, and there's nothing wrong with it. But there again, if a man has been hurt emotionally, it takes longer for a man to open up, or it takes a more deep level of trust for a man to open up, I should say, not longer. I guess it all depends on the person that he's opening up to. If they feel safe with him, or if she feels safe to him, I should say, then he could open up his emotional window in his heart. And that it's hard because, as adults my age, I'm 42, we have lived life to a certain extent. We have probably been married and had children and raised children and been in, a few different close relationships where we did open up and we were emotional and physical with somebody, and So I guess the main point I'm trying to make in this video is the importance for women to feel emotionally secure before intimacy with a man. Um, and for me as a woman, I can only be that way with one person. I can't, it's just who I am. I can't, I know some women they can go out and they can date several guys, and be open and, and everything with conversation and even intimacy. Like to me, that's like blows my mind because I can't be that, and that's probably why it's hard for me to have to find a like a long-term relationship that has substance, and because I don't move on as easily as some people might. And to me, that doesn't make me a bad person. Actually, is just the opposite, because women who are just looking for the physical, and or they've come to a place where they don't care, and they're gonna share everything in their life, and have the physical intimacy, and they're still suppressing their emotions that they've invested in that relationship. Like if they felt emotional on any particular level with somebody and something happened and they broke up, and and they move on to another relationship right away, it's not because they got healing from that relationship. It's because they suppressed their emotions of that relationship, and they can jump to another relationship hoping that would help. It's like holding on to something, and as you're letting go of something else. I can't be that person. Like I have to, after any type of emotional or physical investment in somebody and it doesn't work out, I have to, get healing from the emotional investment and the physical investment that I've put into that relationship before I can look for another relationship with substance. I'm learning how to date. I'm learning how to get to know somebody, but the whole emotional aspect of who I am, it's not so easily attainable if I'm still healing from another relationship. And I'm learning not to like jump forward and give my all into a relationship before I really kind of get to know the person, and get to that place where I can start opening up and being more of who I am, more of my core self. So it's extremely important for a woman who's been healed and has grown and learned and is at a place where she's looking for a long-term relationship. It's so important for her naturally as a woman to feel emotionally safe with somebody. And I mean, I've been in like short-term relationships with somebody. I was back in March. Basically, we got COVID together, and we were together for a month and a half, and I was not emotionally invested or had any emotional connection with this person, although we did live together for a couple weeks. It just didn't happen. And it's not because I was holding on to somebody else, or I was, trying to get over somebody else. It was just because, I mean, we had fun. We weren't intimate in that way at all, but it was more like a dating thing, and oops, we got COVID together. So we have no choice but to just hang out, and he had no choice but to stay with me, and so I just said all that to say that was just an example of being able to like date somebody and not have an emotional investment in them because you're not safe with them. It could be because of the way they talk to you. It could be the way they treat you. And just not feeling it. Like, in order for me to like open up and emotionally invest who I am into somebody, I have to be feel safe. And that is definitely the level it has to be at before I can be intimate with somebody. And it takes both, I've been with, or I've dated a couple of people, over the years who have opened up to me and have invested in me emotionally. But because at that time I wasn't completely healed, or I did not feel completely safe with them, I was not able to invest in them with my emotions. It's a scary place, that's why you have to feel safe. There has to be flow in order for a woman to, open up and truly be invested emotionally into somebody. She just has to feel completely safe and vulnerable. And then for me, being someone who's healed and grown from past relationships and marriages, I'm at that place where I can open up and be vulnerable without any suppression. That allows me to love somebody freely and to allow them to love freely, allow them to be their self, allow them to open up to me, because there aren't suppressed emotions anymore. And yeah, sometimes it's taken me years to get to that place, but I can't bring somebody else into my life on an intimate level and on an emotional connection, vulnerability and love and everything that comes with a relationship until I have completely healed from past emotional and physical investments in somebody, So, and maybe the next video I'll talk about ways to make her feel safe. It's super important, guys, especially if she's, already healed. That means she's ready to be in a long-term relationship with somebody. That means she's ready to open up to you. The key is to make her feel safe to be able to do that. So anyway, happy Saturday. And maybe I'll do a video later. And I think Kelly and I are supposed to do a podcast, but don't hold me to that because things happen and we need to find consistency in that. So, but I hope your Saturday is great. Enjoy the nice weather.